Hey you guys, it's your girl T, and it's time for another episode of Throwback Thursday. So make sure you guys grab your teacups and let's find out what happened to the cast of Moesha. So Moesha was a TV show that started in 1996 and it aired from 96 to 2001, and it starred R&B singer Brandy Norwood, and she played Moesha Mitchell, and she was a teenager just going through, what you go through in life, going through puberty and boyfriends and dating and, hanging out with her friends and her family. This was one of my favorite shows as a teenager growing up. I still remember when it debuted and everybody would walk around school like, everybody say Moesha. Everybody used to say that. So I want to go ahead and give you guys some updates on what the cast is up to now. So as we all know, Moesha Mitchell was played by Brandy Norwood, and Brandy now has a daughter that she takes care of, and her name is Sarai. Brandy has kept herself busy over the years. So here goes some fun facts about Brandy. Brandy was one of the first African-American people to portray Cinderella on a television show or a movie. And also back in 1996, before Kobe Bryant was Kobe Bryant, he took Brandy to prom. And also another fun fact is that Brandy talked to Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston handed Brandy a note. Until this day, Brandy will not tell the public what was on that note and what Whitney Houston had to say to her. But Brandy and Whitney Houston had a very, very close relationship. And when she worked on the TV movie Cinderella, that's when they really, really built that close bond. So right now in 2015, Brandy is currently on Broadway, and she's playing in the Broadway show called Chicago. So if you guys ever get a chance, make sure you guys check her out. She's definitely doing her thing on the Broadway show Chicago. So the next character in the series was her father, Frank Mitchell, and he was played by William Allen Young. And Frank Mitchell was like a really good father. He treated Brandy with a lot of respect. He was stern, but he was still, kind of laid back. And he played a really good character. William Allen in real life is married. He's been married for like over 15 years to his wife. Fun fact about William Allen Young is that he's a Kappa Alpha Psi. And in 2015, if you want to see more of William Young, you can find him on CBS's Code Black. It airs on Wednesday nights. So the next character on Moesha was everybody's favorite annoying little brother, Miles. And Miles was played by Marcus T. Polk. And basically, Miles was just that annoying little kid, but he always had like a really smart comeback. And he was really, really funny. And we all remember his big old ears. He was really adorable. The main thing he's known for after Moesha is he was on The Proud Family. He's one of the voice characters on The Proud Family. So recently, Miles made the blogs, and he was all over the headlines. He was arrested in Arizona for driving under the influence and also drug possession. So hopefully Miles, checked himself into rehab and he's doing a lot better. There hasn't been too much information on him. Hopefully we'll see him acting in some future projects. So one of my favorite characters on the show was a dude named Hakeem Campbell, and he was played by Lamont Bentley. He was like everybody's favorite character. He was like the big brother to Moesha. He was always on time for breakfast. He never went home. He was Moesha's best friend. And, he did a lot after Moesha. He played in a lot of TV movies. He also played on a TV show called South Central.
What am I supposed to do, man? Homie, out of gap. Besides, man, my mom would have killed me if I let him kill me. Anyhow, man, I gave you the signal to run, man, but you didn't run. What signal? When I went out the window.
He was a phenomenal actor, but sadly at the age of 31, he was driving on the highway out here in California, and basically his car ended up crashing and he died from blunt force trauma. So he died on January 18, 2005. So a lot of people were left to mourn him and ask a lot of questions. So before he died, a lot of people didn't realize this, but he was a father of 2 daughters, and basically they're not getting involved in acting. They're working on their own project. So a fun fact about Lamont Bentley is that his real name was not Lamont Bentley. His real name was Artemis Lamont Bentley. And another fun fact about him is that even though he died in 2005, the very last movie that he worked on, it was called A Day in the Life, and the movie was released in 2009, and he played a character in that movie called El Mob. So even after his death, there were still movies coming out that he played in. That's how much of a good actor he was. If you guys have not checked it out, feel free to check it out. You can find it on Amazon or Netflix. So the next character on Moesha was Niecy Jackson, and her real name was Shar Jackson, and she was like that crazy friend. She was really funny, down to earth, and she was the first one on the show to have sex, honey. So, we was all up in Niecy's business. So Niecy always kept it real with Moesha. She was just really a fun, lovable character. Niecy hasn't been doing too much, but you can find her on Hollywood Divas with her best friend, Countess Vaughn. Also, a fun fact about Niecy is that a few years ago, she was caught up in a bunch of mess with her baby's father, Kevin Federline. He's the father of her 2 youngest children. Their names are Corey Tori and Caleb, and basically he ended up cheating on Shar Jackson with Britney Spears. So the fun fact is that her children and Britney Spears' children are half brothers and sisters. The next character that we're going to talk about on Moesha was Dee Mitchell. Dee Mitchell was Moesha's stepmother. She had married Moesha's father, and she was like that stepmom that was stern, but she was still down to earth. She was very relatable. She wasn't trying to take Moesha's mother's spot, whose mother had died, but she was definitely there to let Moesha know that there were going to be rules and regulations and things like that, but still be someone that she could come to and talk to when it came to things like birth control and sex and, you know, just whatever she was going through at school. So Cheryl Lee Ralph has kept herself busy over the years. So a few fun facts about Cheryl Lee Ralph is that she's a Tony Award nominated actress. She played on Broadway in a play called Dreamgirls, and so she was nominated for that. Cheryl has kept herself busy by also doing a lot of things, a lot of philanthropy work. Another fun fact about Cheryl Lee Ralph is that she's a passionate AIDS activist, and she started her own nonprofit organization a few years back, and it's called Diva. And she basically started to help friends and family members who have either died from AIDS or who have been affected by friends and families who have AIDS and HIV. So this is something that she's very, very passionate about, and she talks about it greatly around the country. And another fun fact about Cheryl Lee Ralph is that she was one of the youngest females to graduate from Rutgers University. She graduated college at the tender age of 19, and you can currently find Cheryl Lee Ralph doing commentary on HNL News. So the next character on Moesha was Dorian, aka D-Money, that was played by Brandy's little brother Ray J. He came in during like the 3rd or 4th season, and basically he came in as Brandy's cousin, but then later on we found out that Frank had cheated on his wife and he got some girl knocked up, and that Dorian ended up being Frank's child, which ended up being Brandy's brother. I was not feeling that storyline whatsoever. It just seemed just way over the top to me, but he did a really good job. Ray J has been acting for a long time, and a fun fact about Ray J before he turned ratchet is that Ray J used to have like really serious acting jobs, and he was on this show called The Sinbad Show where he played Sinbad's son. He was also a voice of one of the cartoon characters on the Proud Family as well. So Ray J did his thing for a long time. He's also a singer. He's had a few hit records and things like that, but now in 2015 you can find Ray J being ratchet on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. You can also find him performing in the most infamous sex tape ever. It was one half of the Kim Kardashian sex tape that leaked out a few years back. So ever since Ray J performed in the sex tape and the sex tape leaked out, no one has been able to look at Ray J the same. And it seems like ever since then, Ray J has been destined for ratchet television. He's done everything from reality TV shows like For the Love of Ray J to Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. So last but not least, one of our favorite characters on Moesha was Countess Vaughn, and she played Kim Parker. And Kim was just one of those funny friends. She was another one like Niecy. She always had jokes. My favorite line from Kim on the show was when she was working at like some chicken shack, and she was like, chicken, get your chicken here. And everybody used to always say that. Kim was just funny. She was, you know, that lovable plus size girl. She's been acting for years. We all remember as a little girl acting on 227, and then she also had a reoccurring role on Hanging with Mr. Cooper, but I think she was most known for her being on Moesha. But then rumor had it, y'all, fun fact, that her and Brandy were beefing, and there was like some type of animosity because Kim's star power was rising. A lot of folks were checking the show for Kim and not as much for Moesha, and they're saying that kind of started like bad blood between them. So that way, in order to keep the peace, they ended up giving Kim her own show, and she went on to do the Parkers. She did the Parker for several years, and then after that she kind of stopped acting for a while. She got really sick when her weave went bad. She got a sewing and it ended up getting infected, and you know, she got really, really sick and her hair fell out, and she was on a crusade to basically warn women about, you know, the dangers of hair weaves and leaving hair weaves in too much. But now Kim is doing a lot better health-wise, and she's back on reality television. You guys can now find her on the TV show Hollywood Divas. So that's the Throwback Thursday segment for the cast of Moesha. So that's what everybody's up to. Some of the cast members have passed away, unfortunately, but others are still doing their thing. So make sure you guys join me for another episode of Throwback Thursday. Talk to y'all later. Deuces. Hey you guys, it's your girl T. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share my videos. You can also visit Lovelyti.com to purchase any merchandise. Also, don't forget to click the boxes down below to watch any of my previous videos. Talk to y'all later. Deuces.